everybody. Welcome to this show. I am Jasmine from Jew Digital, and I am here today with the host, Peggy Barre, and she is going to be starting off the discussion. All right, Peggy, I'm going to hand the mic over to you now.
All right. Thank you so much, Jasmine. And thank you so much to our viewers for joining. And thank you very much for to our amazing guest today, who I'm going to be introducing shortly. I'm Peggy Barre. I am the founder of Arise and Thrive Academy. I work a lot with women, not just women, men as well, survivors of domestic abuse. And the whole idea is to help them to rebuild their lives after relationship abuse. So, wherever you're watching today, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that you are all welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. So today we have an incredible personality, a wonderful personality, Margaret Tolley. And it's a pleasure. I'm just going to introduce Margaret to all you, the viewers. Margaret Tolley is a trailblazing, multi-award winning entrepreneur and celebrated author. She's known for on her unwavering dedication to empowering aspiring business owners. With a career spanning over 40 years, she has transformed the lives of more than 1,700 individuals, guiding them to overcome the barriers of poverty, lack of experience, limited skills, and social isolation to build thriving businesses. As a champion for single parents, especially single fathers, Margaret brings a deeply personal touch to her mission, helping men or helping the fathers to unlock their full potentials and to rewrite their stories. Her passion extends to training educators, equipping them with the tools to inspire and uplift lone parents, women, and marginalized individuals to become the best version of themselves. As a visionary leader, Margaret's work stands as a testament to the power of resilience, purpose, and community. Through her books, which I've got one today, and I'm so happy. Through her books, programs, and mentorship, she continues to spark hope and drive change in the lives of those who need it most. What a fantastic person Margaret is. So, welcome to our show, Margaret. In fact, for this to this edition, and it's such a pleasure to have you today. How are you doing, Margaret?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me here. Each time when I hear my bio being read, I'm thinking, oh my God, is that me? But yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being with you and also looking forward to our talk and our conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much once more for coming with us. And today in this episode, we are going to be exploring some crucial topics, especially at this start of the year 2025.
Mhm.
And two of the main topics that we're going to be focusing on today is single parenting in 2025 and also how to prepare single parents for dating in 2025. And thinking about this topic, we couldn't think of a best person than Margaret Tolley because she brings her expertise, she brings her knowledge, she brings her experience, she brings everything today on board. And we're just going to be tapping into all of these things that she's going to be teaching us today. So, to our viewers or anybody watching us, our audience, I just want you to get ready for an insightful and inspiring conversation today. So, we'll be diving into our first topic, and
Mhm.
that topic is how, what are the tips and some strategies that we want to embrace as single parents in 2025. So I'm just going to set the stage, Margaret.
Mhm.
We have embraced 2025. We're in January. The
Mhm.
year just started.
Mhm.
And just like any other years, we do set our goals. We've set personal goals, career goals, relationship goals, financial goals, goals that we want to achieve in this year 2025. And there are single parents out there. They have also set their goals, but they may be looking at their goals and getting worried that, oh my God, How am I going to achieve this goal with this burden of parenting that is hanging over my shoulder? How am I going to navigate through that journey, ensuring that I also achieve my goals for 2025? And from my experience, I know that most of these parents sometimes we hide, we disguise the feeling. We go out there looking as if everything is fine, especially if we're entrepreneurs. We act as if everything is okay. But when we come back home, we are dying in silence. And today I feel that this is an amazing opportunity for us to unpack some tips, some strategies that we can help these single parents to be able to achieve their goals at the end of this year, or by the end of this year they can be proud to say, you know what, hang on, I achieved that goal that I set. So what do you say, what can you say, about this, Margaret?
Thank you so much. I think that's a crucial questions that you just asked. One of the most important things as single parents, because I'm the author of A Single Mother in the Dating Game, so I kind of understand very well what single parents are going through. And thank you so much. I'm honored you brought my book. I'm very honored. Thank you. One of the goals that we first need to set is us.
Yeah.
We. That is so important because when you start working on yourself, one of the goals you should start and try to achieve for yourself for this year, 2025, is introduce yourself to you.
Yes.
Because we forget. Because we have the school run. We're taxi drivers, let's put it that way, okay, for our children. Everything else, and then you're back on the back burner. Guess what? You need to prioritize yourself. So I would say if you have goals out there, add this goal on the sheet. Put it on there. And when you put that goal and prioritize yourself, it does not mean you neglect the work you're doing every day. No, it doesn't. But it just means if you can look after yourself a lot more better, you can have that me time. And that is so crucial because then when you get up, you refresh, you can think a lot better, a lot clearer, and how you can deal with the situations around you. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's so important that you put the goal me, and it's not a selfish goal, not at all. It's fact, it's inspiring and empowering goal for yourself because you cannot keep giving love out there, doing all that running around. That tank is going to be empty. All
Yeah.
right, and we run on an empty tank. And when you run on that empty tank, you're going to be burned out. And to be honest, there's no way you're going to achieve all those goals that you've set for yourself. So, goal number one,
Yes.
it's you. The next goal that you have to build around you is a support system. All right.
Absolutely.
You must have a support system. And how does that look like? This is what I used to do because when you're working, at that time I was working, when you're self employed, it's so easy because I set my hours is from 10 till 2 when I'm doing
Mm.
training. All my work. Today, my kids are grown up, but I still stuck to that time. And the reason being is I've got enough time to drop my son to school, come back in
Mhm.
the office, and I've got enough time to pick him up and bring him to the office. So
Yeah.
there's that care system. But when you're working with somebody, it's slightly different.
Mm.
So what I used to do is build a network around me, such as I make sure I approach other single parent, have a conversation with them, what's going around there, what's happening around there, so I can be part of that. And then also get to know my son's friends, get to know your children's
Mm.
friends. All right. And as you do that, you begin to build a network with other single parent who are in a similar situation as you. Focus on your emotions. All right. It's very important that you focus on emotion. Be clued on and tapped onto it. Do not ignore your emotions. That is so because it impacts your mental health. It impacts the decisions you're going to be making. That's for yourself,
Mhm.
for your children, for your career, where you want to go. So focus onto that. And the great thing is the finance. I mean, if you've got a goal for finance, I remember, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of story. What happened is when I used to be self employed, I had so much cash flowing in. So I never did any budgeting because I know whatever I needed, I can go and just get it, pay cash.
Mhm.
But when I started to work and I was working for a company, I came into the 9 to 5. You get your salary. By Tuesday, it's gone. By Wednesday, you're like, oh my God, what? What am I going to do? And I specifically remember that I phoned my sister halfway and I said, how do you cope? Because they've been kind of employment. I've been
Mhm.
self-employed. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I've run out of money. And I only got paid on Friday. Now it's Monday, I got no money. And she said, well, you need to start saving all your pennies because that's what I do. And I'm like, wow. But, it's great to set a financial goal. You need to set a budget. And that
Yes.
was one that was lacking in my life.
Mm.
That was lacking. I didn't know how to budget. So when
Yes.
I set that budget, when I'm speaking with lone parents and they're going to set up their own business, I run a kind of a workshop, which is
Mhm.
survival budget. And the
Yes.
survival business budget, I'm going to take you rock bottom because you need to know your budget very well. All right. You need to improve your spending habits. What are your strengths and everything like that? And I find that was a journey I had to go through because I had to
Mhm.
figure out how can I run out money before the middle of the month. And I realized every time I go onto the cash point, I took £10, £5, it adds up. And
Yep.
I realized I was buying rubbish, So I did a daily budget
Mhm.
that leads to a weekly budget, that leads to a monthly budget. And when I saw the difference, I start making changes and I
Yeah.
begin to achieve the goals. So anybody there, their goal was a financial one, you need to look at your spending habits and you need to understand your spending habit. So that's one goal. The next one is so important as a single parent.
Yeah.
Really leverage technology. It's not going to go away.
Absolutely.
It's here to stay.
Okay. Absolutely. And that is so technology from my before you come in to explain that point, I just wanted to jump in to say I know most of us, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a single mom, just having a 9 to 5 job, or just a normal job, technology is something that is very, very crucial. And what I see in a community working with women, especially with single parents, what I see is that they spend time on their phones. They spend time on, techno. They can spend hours and hours and hours. But then what are they spending that time on? What I say to them is that they spend tons of time. They watch TikTok. They watch, eh, things like just. But when it comes to how to use technology to actually help them to manage their time, help them to manage their schedule, help them to just even to help them to work around parent their children, they don't have a clue.
Yeah.
And this is why when you talk about technology, it stood out for me because for me, I'm learning it every day. It's the learning, everything I'm trying to, how can I use it to make sure that I gain time for myself? How can I use it to make sure that I am one of those that just by, I've improved a lot. I've worked a lot on myself, even in terms of just my appointments,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was so bad in terms of appointment. If I have an appointment, I'm turning up 10 minutes late. 15 minutes late. You understand? So 2 years ago, I said to myself, no, this is not right. I've got a calendar in my phone. I can set my time on my phone to remind me. And in fact, I can even set a timer for it to ring to alert me that I've got an appointment, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes early. But I didn't know this. And when I speak to most women, they've got phones in their hands, but they cannot even use their calendar on the phones in their own phones, on their own phones. So yes, that to me, that is a big one. That is a big one, Margaret. So yeah, you jump on that point. Yeah.
I love what you said. You know, I used to be exactly like you, late. I used to have two calendars. Calendar to make sure my son's appointments are okay. Calendar for work is a calendar to social. I was always late, you know. So my
Yeah.
friends gave up on me on that. But what you said is true because I work with single parent and we run business startups, and I find the simplest thing they cannot do that. And I do understand that. And I remember when I went to college, because and when I'm speaking to them, I tell them my journey, my story. Do not think I've sat here just like that. I went through a journey. And what I tell them a story. When I went to college to change, to
Yeah.
change direction, I
Yeah.
went into entry two, right? So I
Mm.
went into college, the lowest entry. All right. And I remember as I moved on to entry two, and I remember I was doing a certificate in counseling. So I can just get,
Okay.
and I remember I don't know how to use the printer. I did not know how to do my work and stuff. And I used to wake my son up, who's 8 years old, to come and operate the printer for me so I can print my work.
Oh,
And I thought, yeah. And I thought, that can't happen because he can't get up because he's helping me out. And I thought, Margaret, you need to go and do an IT course.
yes.
I took myself to do an IT course, and that opened a lot more doors for me to learn. So, for what you said, and it's so important as we go and look for a job, or sooner or later, your kids are going to grow up. And
Yes.
most workplaces now, they're using technology. It's way up there. So I would encourage everybody to embrace technology, learn it, the new ones that are coming up, and the best one that you can have, if you can get them to do that for you,
Yes.
it's your children to teach you. All right.
Absolutely.
Because they know technology, you know. They know technology. If I'm stuck, my son just got ping, ping, ping. Mom, you should know that by now. So I will encourage everybody, make that as one of your goal, embrace technology, go to college, do evening
Mhm.
classes, find out who's doing it in your neighborhood and get that support you need. And if you need to go to anywhere else, please do. And so, yeah, because technology is here to stay.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Those were some really, really key points there that they're really, really amazing tips that I'm just talking from my own experience as a single parent and also as an entrepreneur. A parent that I've got two businesses you're running, I've got lots of commitment in the community. I'm just
Mhm.
juggling. So I think another one tip that I could add on there
Mhm.
is time management,
Yes.
which is very, very crucial because I think that is one of the things that the asset that we've got that we don't recognize that is an asset that we've got. When time is gone, it's gone, you know. And one thing I always say, which I've also taught myself, is to learn to say no.
Yes.
Because coming from where I came from that background of, as a survivor of domestic abuse, where I've always grown to know that I can only say yes to people. I can't say no. I've always been a people pleaser. Oh, if I say no, what are they gonna be? How are they gonna feel? Oh, I don't want them to look at me as if I'm bad. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want. So because of that, we tend to say yes to everything because we are scared. We're scared of what people are gonna say. We're scared of not being of that rejection. We're scared of that negative, opinion about us. But it is very, very crucial to come to a point to say no is also an answer.
Mm-hmm.
No to extra commitment. No to unnecessary commitment. No to things that are not going to save you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, when we start saying no to extra commitment, I think we ease up that time for ourselves as well.
Yes, I agree.
Because that me time, honestly, I can share a lot. I came from the point, from the angle where I felt guilty to rest. I felt guilty to rest. So if I sat and was relaxing, I felt guilty of doing that. I was always like on a hamster wheel, working, working. I must be doing something. I must be doing something. So for me, that was my normal. So for me, saying no to someone, that means I am rejecting them from giving me a task to do, which will keep me busy. So that's why I always say yes, yes to everything, yes to everything. But by saying yes, I don't have that time, that me time to sit. You talk about focusing on your mind, that mindset of focusing on our health, our mental health, or our well-being. It's all about finding that time for yourself, coming back to yourself, prioritizing yourself. When you talked about introducing yourself, you as Margaret, me as Peggy, showing up for myself, valuing myself. If we don't learn how to say no, we will not have the time to be able to do these things for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking about technology. If we don't learn how to say no, we're not going to find that time to even sit back and learn some of these technologies that we have been talking about. So, one crucial thing that I have been asking parents, and I'm also asking myself, in fact, I'm still learning, is to say no. If it doesn't save me, and if it doesn't save my time, I'll say no. You may get angry, you may not be happy with me, but yes, it's my right to say no if it's not necessary. I can say no without feeling guilty. Yeah, so I think that's one tip that I can bring onto the table, Margaret. And I don't know whether you have a thought about that as well.
No, it's fantastic. It means when you reach a point in your life that you can actually stand up and say no, which means you're getting to know who you are. And that's the most important thing about it. You've come to a point, I know who I am. I'm number one. I am a
Yeah,
priority. My time is valuable. So guess what? I'm no longer going to waste that time. So that is fantastic and well done to you to come to that level. It's great. And no, it's fantastic. Another thing about time, as we work with single, particularly the women, as we work with single women, they love their Coronation Street. They love their EastEnders. And I used to say to them, how many times do you sit and watch that TV? What did you get out of it?
hmm,
What time, how much time did you spend on your phone? What did you learn from it?
hmm,
So it's prioritize that, and time management is so important also at home. You know,
yes,
when I used to do a do list as well, I'll have within my do list, my son, the family is put into that do list for the day. And
yes,
at the end of it, what time I have to have my me time. All right.
yeah,
And everyone out there who wants to start their own business or even want to go into employment, they really need to know how to use that time effectively.
yeah,
Procrastination, that is massive.
yeah,
You know, I'll do it tomorrow. That is something you
hmm,
do. And most time when I'm standing there teaching, I say, anybody in the classroom right now, I will give you £100 when tomorrow comes. Because when it comes, they finish.
absolutely.
Yeah. So come on.
Yeah,
What you put off tomorrow, or yesterday,
Mm.
you've got tomorrow coming with its own problem. What
Mm.
are you going to do about it? So procrastination is something you need to look into, because you can have all these amazing goals for 2025. If your
Yeah,
time management is not good, and if your procrastination is one of them, that's going to impact you and affect you a great deal to achieve those goals. So I want to just say to everybody out there for 2025, definitely prioritize you. And it's great what Peggy says, say no. If you
yeah,
need to say no, no. And if there are things you need to do today, don't leave them till tomorrow. Do them there and then, and
right.
take time and complete that task. So tomorrow you'll be able to have the energy to deal with what's coming up. So, yes.
Absolutely. That is so amazing. So thank you so much. Those were some fantastic points. So just for our viewers, for a summary, these are key points that I've bet if you take it and run with it, then you're guaranteed that 2025 as a single parent, you're just going to nail it. So the first point Margaret talked about, build support network. Remember that you're not alone. This parenting thing is a journey. You need people to help you, family, friends, like-minded parents, whatever it is, don't do it alone. Seek help. And that support network is very, very crucial. So, point number two, Margaret talked about your focusing on your mental health. It's very, very crucial. Remember, we cannot give what we don't have. We need to be healthy mentally, physically, psychologically, so that we can also raise healthy kids with healthy minds. So, very, very crucial. That is point number two. Point number three, Margaret talked about financial literacy. Hey, budget, budget, budget. Because I know that as single parents, sometimes the budget can be tight, especially if you're not getting assistance from the other partner. Everything is you. You need to put food on the table. When they ask for candies, mommy, I want this, mommy, I want that, or daddy, I want this, it's just you. How can you make sure you navigate that budget? Try and find time, seek help. Margaret talked about budgeting costs that she runs. I think that is a fantastic way to start, which she can help with that budgeting, because it's very, very crucial to navigate that parenting journey. Point number four, Margaret talked, in fact, I talked about prioritize your time management. Simple. Learn to say no if it doesn't save you, so that by saying no, you can save your time, that me time for yourself.
Mhm.
Point number five, Margaret talked about leveraging technology. You've got your phone. Everybody have got phone. You've got your phones. Please use your phone. Don't just watch TikTok and watch this. Try and learn technologies. There are new ones coming every day. What are the technologies that can help you to be able to manage, parents, and maybe to manage your business? Things that will facilitate life, make life easy for you. Learn them. You've heard about Margaret. She went back to learn IT course, which I did as well. So yes, that is a great skill to take with you in 2025. And last but not the least, Margaret talked about procrastination. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Because if you keep pushing it to tomorrow, you're going to push and push and push and push. So there is sometimes, no matter how hard it is, look it in the eye and say, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it today. Take one step at a time. That is how you come today to achieving that big goal that you want to achieve. So thank you so much, Margaret. And I think that was that first part of the question. We've dealt with it.
Mhm.
Now we're going to move to the second part, which I am I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this second bit because we're talking about dating. Okay. So now I've been reading about dating. I've been reading about a lot of articles. There, there are many statistics around single parenting and dating,
Mhm.
but there is one that I just want to hang on today for our discussion.
Okay.
And that particular article, it caught my attention because it said that, in fact, it was published by HuffPost. Is it HuffPost? And they published it on the 17th of May 2023.
Mhm.
And it says that over half of single parents, that's 59% of single parents, reported that being a single parent has deterred them from dating altogether. So more than half of single parents like, I don't want to date. So I just want to ask you, Margaret, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And secondly, how can we prepare ourselves for a successful or meaningful dating experience? Over to you.
Thank you so much. When I wrote the book, A Single Mother in the Dating Game, it's when I was bringing up my son and when I walked away from my relationship with my son's father, we both kind of run businesses.
Yeah.
So I would say if we had a conversation, it
Yeah.
was about business.
Yeah.
And then it came to a point where he lost his business and I lost my business. And the thing about it, it all happened in 1 month. We
Right.
both lost our business the same time.
Wow.
And then the evening come, we didn't have a conversation
Hmm.
because the conversation was all about business. Now I'm kind of like, I've been with you for 5, 10 years. Oh my God. It's like it just hit me on the chest. And any other conversation we talked about, it was all about his business, what he's going
Hmm.
through, what's happening to him. And
Yeah.
there was no room for me. And I remember
Hmm.
sitting there making the decision. My son was quite young and saying, I can't stay in this relationship. It's not
Hmm.
working for me. I'm drowning. And how am I going
Hmm.
to save him? He's drowning. I need to save myself. And I think that was my first journey of really walking away and also trying to discover myself. And what
Yeah.
made me kind of wrote the book because when I made the decision and walked away from the relationship, and you know what? I built myself so fast within the space of 5 years. And at that time, we
Hmm.
weren't talking at all. So I had that space to build myself. And then, as many of us as single parents, sometimes we walk away from that relationship and decide, you know what, we're going to stay single. And that's the article you just read. We're going to stay single because we want to bring our children up.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
don't want to divide our attention with another partner because you're going to have to make time for that partner that comes in. All right. Again, you need to think. I had to think, well, how's my son's going to feel that way as well, having a
Hmm.
new person coming in? So for me, that was like, oh my God, what do I? So I then decided no relationship. Absolutely none till I bring my son up to a point where if anything happened, he can defend for himself when he's
Yeah.
young. So when he's young, he can't, you know?
Hmm.
So for me, that was, and I think that's what the article is saying. It's not that we want to be alone, but we have to think about our children. We need to protect our children. That's the
Yeah.
rule. And then after my son reached a certain age, this is how the book came about. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, my son's gone now. He's 18. He's gone now. He's gone for the whole weekend. I'm used to him pumping music upstairs. Okay, I might shout, but I know there's somebody in the house. But that particular weekend, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a home alone mom. I'm a home alone mom. I got into a routine, running a successful business. Everything is cool.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. My son's not 18. Praise be to God. He's not giving too much hassle, the usual boy stuff. But but that's when the wake up call came in. And as I rushed
Hmm.
into a relationship, because I thought, oh my God, I'm home alone. Yeah, let's go online dating. Yes, let me go to the. All that I remember it so well. And when you open your heart to date, to, right, you feel you're ready, but you're not. I know I wasn't.
Hmm.
I met the guy,
Hmm.
man, less than 2 months. I had to say, look, you're not ready for a woman like me. Actually, to tell the man, I said, I am so sorry. You are not ready for a woman like me. Because he
Yeah.
couldn't understand that I was a businesswoman. I run a business. You work 9 to 5. I work all hours, you know. And for me, that's where the book came from, you know, the pain inside me. And so I wrote the book, A Single Mother and the Dating Game. And through that journey, I went online dating. But at the same time, because I got people ask me, um, do you do about online dating because you wrote the book? I kept saying, no,
Mm.
no, no. And I thought, let me look into it. And I did. And I met some amazing guys there, really did. But one of the things, if you're thinking, am I ready to date? You really need to ask yourself that question. All right. We don't choose
Yeah.
to.
Can I just jump in 1 minute from there,
Yeah, go on.
Margaret?
Yeah.
This conversation is so, in fact, we're going to come back another time on this conversation because I think this is one of the things that I see a lot in in fact, I talk from experience, my own experience. And
Yeah.
when you talk about finding somebody who immediately you knew that that person wasn't right for that person wasn't the right person for you, that resonates because most of the time we as entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, some people don't understand the way we do things. They don't
Mm-hmm.
understand why you get up in the morning, you are very busy, your phone may be ringing, or they may be texting you and you don't even have the time to respond to the text message. Not
Mm-hmm.
because you're ignoring them, but because you're busy. You've got so these are some of the things that some of them they don't understand. They don't
Yeah.
understand. And just talking about they going back even to dating, the first question that you said you need to ask yourself, am I ready?
Ready to date. Yes.
Because coming from that point, especially if you came out from a survive as if you were a victim in the first previous relationship, right, and you come out from there, especially if that perpetrator or the abuser made you believe that you were good for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
you don't amount to anything. Nobody is gonna see you, nobody's gonna fancy you, nobody. So when you come out from that environment, you're trying to look at a way of trying to validate yourself, trying to make someone validate you. And then
Mm-hmm.
this is why sometimes some of these women, I will say some of these women, because majority of these women, they tend to go into a relationship thinking that they are ready for the relationship. But when they get into it, they slip back. Things become even more difficult and challenging for them. So, this is why I just wanted to come back to that first question that you ask. The first stage is ask yourself, are you ready to date? That is so, so important. I asked myself that question the first time I got it wrong. I came back again and I asked myself that second question. And then I realized that, hang on, the first time that I jumped into it, I wasn't ready at all. And ever since, I think I'm one of the statistics, the 59% statistics. So, yes, Margaret, sorry, I just thought I should jump on because that is a very key question. So, yeah, over to you.
No, it's so important that you work on yourself. All right.
Yes.
Work on yourself. I took time after I've written that book, because the book took me to the deepest or the lowest that it can possibly take me, and then brought me up. And when I came out, on the question, am I ready to date? And I couldn't answer the question. I could
Yes.
not answer the question that I was ready to date. So what I then did is start working on myself. The
Yes.
next question that you need to ask yourself, what does it mean to me to have a partner
Mm.
in my life? What does it mean? What am I looking for? Because I got to remember, or you got to remember, whatever you're looking for out there in a partner, make sure you have that in you. They're going to give you what you mirror at. Okay.
Yes.
So those are the questions. What does it mean? Take
Yeah.
time, get a
Yes.
pen, write them down. And if you can't answer them, make sure you go back to the drawing board dealing with yourself, looking at you yourself. The next
Yes.
question is, all right, what qualities they're looking for? And somebody
Mm.
read my book, the book that you got, and in I think the second chapter, I talked about the qualities I was looking for, and
Yes.
I made a list of those qualities. And the person phoned me. She said, "You list the qualities of that you're looking for in a man." I said, "I've got to be real, all right. I have to." But the thing about I got to make sure that I have those qualities in me
Yes.
to be able to support that new partner that comes in, to be able to have that time. As much as I'm running a business, I had to be really realistic. Do I have time for this partner to come in? If you would have
Yes.
asked me 5 years ago and after the disaster relationship, I'd say no.
Yeah.
But now I can say I can make time. So those are the things you need to think of first. Know who
Mhm.
you are.
Yes.
That's a top priority.
Yes.
Know who you are. What are your values? What is your worth?
Yes.
What are your ability? So you must know who you are. And like you said, you learn to say no, right? It took you a while to get there to say no. But
Yeah.
guess what? If you enter another relationship, you may use that no here, but when you enter a relationship, that no is going to be even bigger because you can see certain things and you say, I'm not
Mm.
going to tolerate this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important that you know who you are. The next one is so important. Respect yourself. How do you carry yourself? How do you
Mm.
turn out? How do you turn up?
Mm.
How do you present yourself? I'm gonna just share with you. When I was going through the journey of the relationship, walking away, my son and all thing, you know what I did? I used to wear sunglasses. Summer, winter, whatever the way, I'm wearing some because I didn't have the confidence, right?
Ooh.
I didn't. If a man approached to talk to me, all right, my face is hitting the floor. So by wearing sunglasses, I can see they're looking at me. I can gently turn my face away because
Right.
I never had the confidence. So my sunglasses became kind of my protection, right? Because I didn't know who I was.
Yes.
All right. And when I start working with myself now and everything, and you know what? The sunglasses came out. And now it's so amazing. I'm walking the street and I'm talking about now. Guys are smiling at me and I'm smiling. But I'm not looking at it. Okay, yeah. But I can feel that confidence in me
Yeah.
that I could actually smile back. And recently, when I was just in the market, a guy was singing away and laughing. I said, "Man, you're singing away. You're so happy." And you know what? I saw him smiling. And
Oh.
I knew that came from me, from a good place. So I
Yes.
can see the changes coming in. So knowing who you are, respect yourself, know your qualities, know what you're good at. Another thing, love you.
Big
And when you
one.
say,
Big,
yeah,
big one.
yeah, when you
Yes.
say I love you, make it come from the stomach, from here
Yeah.
and rises up. And you feel it when you say it. I love me. I love myself. And
Yeah.
don't apologize about it.
Yeah.
I stop apologizing about it because I love Margaret. And I get up there in the morning and I'll say, I love Margaret. And I'll say, why would I love Margaret? I love Margaret who she is. I love Margaret. She smiles. I love Margaret. She laughs. I love Margaret. She is. Sometimes I do crazy stuff and I'll say, oh, Margaret, stop that. Because I'm getting to know me. So it's so important that
Absolutely.
you love yourself, you respect yourself, know your
Yes.
value, know your
Hmm.
worth. All right.
Yeah.
And definitely, my last one, put boundaries.
Big one.
Yes, you
That's
must. And make sure you do not cross those boundaries, because the
mm-hmm.
men that's going to come to you, they're going to try to push those boundaries to see how you react.
Absolutely.
So if you can put all those things, and if you can ask yourself the question, am I ready to date? And if you can answer it, that's a plus sign for you. And if you can say,
Yes.
all right, what kind of partner? What does it
Mm,
mean for me to have a partner? And if you can
yeah.
answer that question, and if you can't, that's okay. Go and read a lot of self-development books. I read when I was going online dating, I read the book, Dating at 50 plus, dating 60 plus, how to send a text, how to do this. I took them. I was sitting on the bus, and when I'm on the bus and I'm reading, people look at the book title. I don't care. Because I needed to know what I don't know. And that is so
Yes.
important. And if you can prepare yourself for that, then you're in a good start in the relationship with yourself as well as out there.
Absolutely. Oof, that is a download. Download, download. Do you know this this book? I'm just going to binge read this book. It's so amazing. And I don't know if everyone can see it. I got my copy, and when I bought it, I said to my daughter, I bought this book. And my daughter said, yeah, mom, when you finish reading it, pass it on to me. I said, of course, I'm going to pass it to you. My daughter is 20. So, one
Mm-hmm.
thing that you mentioned about loving you and respecting yourself, from my experience, and like I always say, there are certain relationship that we go into. If I always tell myself that if I knew what I know today, maybe what happened in my relationship wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have tolerated certain behaviors that I tolerated in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And this for me, when I wrote my book and I was talking about myself, it was a mental rebirth for me. I
Mm-hmm.
said to myself, I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm not going to blame my mama. I'm not going to blame my daddy. I'm not going to blame whoever wasn't available for me when I was growing up in my childhood. I'm not going to blame anybody. Now I am an adult. I can teach myself what my parents didn't teach me when I was young. I can learn what I did not learn when I was growing up. So just like you said, Margaret, I went deep into that self-development because I was hungry for it.
Yeah.
And so I learned, I read books, and then from it I started writing. All this while I didn't know that writing was a passion. So I started pouring out my feelings, pouring out my experience, pouring out into that book. And one thing I found out is when you love yourself, when you come to the point where you respect yourself, you love yourself, you show up for who you are, you find who you are. Because one thing for me was knowing who I was. I remember the first day when I went, my mentor asked me, Peggy, who are you? I didn't know who I was. I didn't know, I couldn't answer that question. But
Mm-hmm.
by me learning and
Mm-hmm.
self-developing and developing myself, I found out who I am. If you wake me up from sleep and ask me today, Peggy, who are you? I'll tell you straight away who I am. And that and for me, that is my confidence. And that is wherever I show up knowing who I am. And that is why I will not settle for I will not settle for anybody. I will not say yes to something that I'm not happy with. Yes, I am confident to say no. Saying no doesn't mean that I don't like you. No, I'm just it's just respecting me. It's
Mm-hmm.
just loving me and putting me first
Yeah.
because relationship is about give and take.
Yeah.
I cannot come into a relationship and just expecting you to give, give, give. I want to also give you something.
Yeah.
But until I know that thing, I cannot give what I cannot give.
Yes.
So that is very crucial for me. So loving yourself, respecting yourself, valuing yourself, knowing your self worth,
Mm-hmm.
the qualities that you're looking in that partner, ask yourself, do you have those qualities to
That's
give
right.
them as well? Okay. So thank you so much, Margaret. In fact, I'm going to read this book. And please, would you mind if we bring you back again another time so that we can explore more on this? Because I feel that this is the area where we don't want to keep making the same mistake all the time. Otherwise, it's going to be like a circle. We're just going round the circle. We leave the first one thinking they all, and then we go back into the same circle. And who is feeling the pinch? Sometimes it's not just us, our children are feeling
Yes.
the pinch. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very important. So thank you so much, Margaret. And just before we round up, I am aware that you have a life-changing event that is coming up in February.
Yes.
Would you want to share more about that, please?
Of course. Over the years, I gotta give God the grace and thank Him. One of the gifts God has given me, the gift of running businesses and starting business and teaching people how to start their business with zero finance.
Yes.
And the reason I've gone really strongly working with men, we've got the kings and queens in loving relationship in the 21st century. And the reason
Yes.
I developed that is to encourage men more to take part in this conversation about love, about relationships, about your hurt, about your pain.
Yes.
So this is what the platform is about. But with this one, it's got the kings and the queens together. Let's come together, because when I attend a lot of events, there's not that many men there. You have a
Yes.
lot more women than men, and I want to change that narrative. So
Mm,
the one that I've got, the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day, would be our second one. The very first one we run is being a father, single father
mm,
in 2024. That was the one that I kicked up with. And then
yes.
this year I kind of changed it, which was all men. It was well received. And I changed it a little bit and bring them in. So it's all about relationship. It's about navigating as a
Yes.
single father or as a divorced person. How do I navigate relationship with the children and co-parenting? And also, how do I go on dating? But this, I got some amazing guest speakers that are coming in to speak and everything on that day, on the 14th of February at 1 p.m. UK time. And it's 8 a.m. EST time. So yeah, come and join us. Come and listen to the conversations. Some powerful speakers are going to be there. So this is it. But we have a show which is, the Father Talk Show, which I
Yeah.
invite men to come and speak to men, to our single fathers. So we
Yeah.
talk about suicidal, with men. That's something we don't talk about, because men don't talk about it. We talk about mental
Absolutely.
health, and
Yes.
mental health impacts a lot of men. So we talk about that a great deal. Anything also called parenting. If they're having any problem with co-parenting, we got a solicitor, family solicitor, who comes
Yes.
in to be able to help. So that's what we bring in with the Father Talk Show, Kings and Queens in a conversation, as well as business as well. So yeah.
Oh. Wow, amazing. By the way, I bought my ticket for that event. You know, the one on the 14th. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. So
Thank
I
you.
think you can, where can we find you, Margaret? I know I've seen your social media handle going on there, but where can we find you? Where can we, if we want to, I know you've got men. Do you know what? I went on YouTube, and I'm not on YouTube. I went on Amazon, and I found out that you've got so many books on Amazon. Yeah, so many
Yeah.
books on Amazon. I'm gonna be reading in fact, each every of those books, because I just want to learn more. So where can we find you, or where can our audience find you, Margaret?
Most definitely, I'm incredibly very active in LinkedIn. Very much so. So you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. We got our website, Let's Change Your Life with Margaret Thorley. It's just put that, so we're quite active on that as well. But definitely LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, yeah. And you can DM me
Oh,
as well. And if you want to buy my books, like you say, I'm in Amazon as well. So yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
yeah. So, thank you so much, Margaret. To be honest with you, I've learned a lot today, and I'm so much looking forward to more conversations like this because it's through conversation like this that we learn, that we empower ourselves, and we also help others to navigate that journey. You know, somebody like me, I've got a 22-year-old, 20, and a 14, and I can tell you that has been a lot of whole experience. And I'm still learning. Even at this stage, I'm still learning. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for pouring out your heart and soul into your books, into your programs. Thank you so much for changing thousands and thousands of lives. Definitely, we're going to be sharing you more, and then we're going to be learning more from you each and every day. So I just want to say thank you so much also for our viewers, and I'm going to be handing you back to our lovely Jasmine.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a powerful session. I didn't want it to end. Thank you for the tips. I'm definitely going to go back and listen to it again. But I just want to say a quick hello to everybody that has joined the live. Thank you, Natalie, for engaging with this conversation. Sergio de Gregorio, thank you so much for your questions and your insightful, critical analytics in the comment section. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ian Davis, as well, for adding to the conversation. And anybody that I've missed, thank you for joining because not everybody, makes a comment and they're still watching. So we are so glad that you found value from this conversation. And if you have any questions for Margaret or Peggy, feel free to contact them directly. I've been leaving their details in the comment section, so you'll definitely find them somewhere, especially Margaret and Peggy, because I put them in the comment section. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We are ending the live, and we hope you have a good evening, good morning, or a good day wherever you find yourself. So take care. Let's say bye, everybody, to our audience.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'm
Goodbye.
ending it
Goodbye.
now.
Yeah.